Welcome back to Montreal Connected. On November 30th, Adonis Superman Stevenson will defend his WBC light heavyweight title against Tony Bomber Bellew. Here to weigh in, Herb Lady Killer Zurkowsky from the Montreal Gazette and Jeremy Filosa. Do you want a nickname too?
Please.
Jeremy, I don't know, Vinny Filosa?
All right.
Looks like a Vinny.
It's better than Man Purse Filosa, come on.
There we go.
Jeremy Merce Filosa. So he's obviously labeled himself Superman's kryptonite for a reason. What do you guys think? Can he pull off the upset?
I think it's just hyperbole, which is obviously what sells in boxing. I think the biggest thing Tony Bellew has going for him is the fact that he's 6'2", 6'3". He's going to have a tremendous height advantage. But if he can't take a punch, that's not going to do very much.
Yeah, and Tony Bellew's #1 quality is his courage. And when you get to boxing, that's probably the last one you want to have. He's not going to give up the way Tavares Cloud did. He's going to have to beat him handily because we've seen this guy go down and get up and go down and get up. And he's going to give it everything he has. I just don't think he's going to be able to handle those punches like a lot of the guys who got punched by Adonis Stevenson before and said, like Tavares Cloud said, in the first round, first punch I took, I knew I was in trouble.
You know what? Every fighter has courage. Just to get into the ring, it takes courage. To hit a man to be hit, that takes courage. No one can question a fighter's courage.
Is the boxing community now starting to take closer notice to Stevenson's success?
I mean, you have to. I mean, he's got 3 knockouts this year. He's, right up there in terms of, fighter of the year. He's going against Floyd Mayweather and Danny Garcia, so you got to keep an eye open for that. He's also got a shot at knockout of the year. So these are all things that'll make people open their eyes. I mean, if he wins this fight against Tony Bellew, 4 wins in 1 year, that's huge in the world of boxing.
The one thing that you can't teach in boxing is the punch, and that's what Adonis Stevenson has. And now he's on TV, so the American fight audience is noticing him. My concern is that he's having trouble selling out the Bell Center, that he's not drawing more spectators. Punches sell, knockouts sell. For some reason, though, that's not translating into ticket sales.
Well, and he's fought 7 times in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to make either of you feel old. But is this a lot for the 36-year-old to handle?
It is a lot. I mean, he's a young 36-year-old, but in any boxing world, to get into the ring and fight that many times, and it's not so much the fight, it's all the training.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only been 2 months since his last fight, so his break has been, what, a week maybe? And he's continued fighting, so that's the only thing that worries me, but I know they want to get this mandatory, defense shot out of the way as fast as they can.
Yeah, there's 2 things you have to consider. Adonis is 36. Now's the time for him to make his money. So I can understand the schedule that he's on. Sugar Hill, his trainer, said it's not hard to fight that often because he's not in wars in the ring. And I understand that. But like Jeremy said, it's not the fight. It's all the training. It's the road work. It's the sparring. It's hitting the heavy bag. I have all I can do to get to the gym every day, and I'm not training for a fight. Yeah. And look at me, I look great.
And he trains 3 times a day. People don't realize that. He's in the gym
talking
in
about
the morning.
me, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Herb, obviously.
3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. No, it's something else.
You got to watch your diet. You got to watch your weight. That's a lot of pressure on a fighter.
All right, looking ahead now to January, 2 of Montreal's favorites, Lucian Bute and Jean Pascal, will square off at the Bell Center.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the biggest fights in the last 30 years in Montreal. What can we expect?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be a great fight. I mean, if we look at the odds in Vegas right now, it's very tight. They got Jean Pascal favorite, but by a very slim margin. And you got 2 guys here who got something to win. They're upset at each other. Jean Pascal is upset at Lucian Bute for canceling the fight. Lucian Bute is upset at Jean Pascal because he just can't shut the hell up. So I think we're going to have something great in the ring.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, what we could expect, first of all, I just hope that they actually get in the ring. I mean, there's been so many delays.
Yeah.
Both camps are saying, well, if this guy fights, if that guy fights, I just want to see them get into the ring. I think that Lucian Bute has too much talent, raw talent, for Jean Pascal. Bernard Hopkins made Pascal look very amateurish. So I think if Bute has not had too much taken out of him by Carl Froch, I think Bute is more talented.
And you, who do you think takes it?
I think Jean Pascal may win this fight simply because of the rage and the anger he's got in him. The only thing is against George Blades, the beginning of that fight did not convince me. It showed that he still has some nerves and some tension that he needs to deal with, and he has to be able to get over that if he wants to be able to start well against Lucian.
Herb, Jared, thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Thank
That's
you.
your Montreal Connected panel for this week.